Hey guys, my name is Alexandra Valentine and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Here we post all things fashion, sewing related and sewing tutorials. If this is something you are interested in, kindly hit on the subscribe button to join the family, and if you end up enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up, like this video guys. So in today's video, we'll be learning how to draft a straight trouser with side pockets. So this video is already too long. I posted the part 1 on how to make the fly zipper. Just in case you have not watched that video, I'll drop the link below. Just go there and watch it now and come back to the drafting of this straight trouser. So this video is going to be in 3 parts. I've posted the first part, which is how to sew a fly zipper, and then this is the drafting on how to draft the proper straight trouser. And then in the next video we are going to be sewing the trouser and also attaching a side pocket to it. So if this is something you are interested in, just kindly stay tuned till the end of this video and also give it a thumbs up if you end up enjoying it. Okay, so right now I have ruled a line which we'll call our starting line, and then from that line now, our starting line and also our waistline. Okay, and then from that line now I'm going down by 9 inches for my hip line, and then by 12.5 inches for my crotch measurement. So I'll be dropping a picture on how to take crotch measurements. Okay, so on those points now that I marked, I'm just going to rule out lines on them. Okay, I'm just going to extend it in a straight line. So in order for it to be very clear, I'm going to just label it. This is our hip line and our crotch line. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to place my hip measurement on our hip line. That's my round hip divided by 4. I'm going to mark it there. I'm trying to extend this line a little bit further or longer, so that I'll have enough room or enough line to be working with. And I'll also extend that for the crotch as well, so, and for the waistline, which is our starting line, right, as well. So I also want to have a starting line coming from this part, so I'm just going to no particular measurement, because this is a straight trouser. It's not really necessary, you can use the edge of the paper, but I want to have a starting line here at about 1 inch in. Okay, so I'm just ruling that out, and from there we'll insert our hip measurement on our hip line, which is 9 inches. That's your round hip divided by 4. Just place it there plus 2 inches for sewing allowance. So this measurement I had here, now I'm just going to transfer it on the crotch line too. I'm going to put the hip measurement and plus my 2 inches. Okay, and we'll also do the same thing on the waistline. So basically we are trying to get the same measurements for the hip on the waist and the crotch line, because we are going to connect those 3 dots now in a straight line, just to give us that straight line. Okay, so after that, the next thing we want to do is to get our crotch extension, and to do that we'll have to divide our original hip measurement, which is 9 inches. Which is 9 inches. We are going to divide it into 4 again. So 9 divided by 4, we have 2.25. Okay, so that's 2.25 on the crotch length. After this long line that is extended to the waist, we are going to mark it 2.25. Okay, that is for our crotch extension. So after marking our crotch extension, the next is to come down from the waistline by 1 inch or 0.75, because when you look at the waist of every trouser, the front waistline is always slightly lower than the back waistline, hence the slant at that waistline there. All right, so I just came down by 0.75, and then on that line there I am going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4, add 2 inches for stitching allowance, and then 1 inch for that.
Okay, that's a total of 3 inches. Then from that 0.75 I came down by, I'm going to connect it to the original waistline. So now I'm going to go ahead now to make my curve, my front crotch curve. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is just dividing what I have left on that line by 2, and then on that division I'm going to go in by half and then connect it to the front waistline. Do you understand? Then from just like more like the way you draft armhole, right? Yeah. So I'm going to connect the rest in a curve with my curved ruler to meet the crotch extension. Okay, so the next thing now to do is this is for the front pattern anyways. So the next thing to do now is to extend this line here all the way to the bottom and then mark our nail and full length. So placing the tape at the waistline, we are going to mark our full length, which is at 41 inches. When I'm cutting it on the fabric, then I'll just add half inch for folding allowance. Okay, so like I did for the hip and the waistline, I'm just going to extend that point there. Yeah, I'm going to extend it in a straight line. So back to the waistline, we are just going to connect our waist to our hip in this way. That is plus our 3 inches that we added. You see the points there, right? We are going to connect it to the hip area, and you can see when I was drawing that straight line, I did not get to the hip area because I want that part to be slightly curved. Okay, I don't want this sharp edgy stuff. So now we are going to transfer what we have from our crotch extension down to this starting line, which is at 13 and a half. We are going to transfer this measurement right to the full length of the trouser, just because we want to have a straight line. We want to connect it to meet the full length of the trouser and want it to be in a straight line. Okay, so I have marked it there 13 and half. I also come to this middle part here and mark the 13 and half, so it will be easy connecting it in a straight line. That's just the essence of transferring the measurements. Now to the effect of the straight leg pants, on the bottom part, which is at the hem of the trouser, we are going to come in and out on those two lines by 1.5. Okay, 1.5 on this side and 1.5 on the other side. So from this 1.5 part now on this side, I'm going to connect it in a straight line to meet the hip line. Okay, while on the other side, I'm just going to connect it in a straight line to meet the crotch area. So after this, the next thing we want to do is to draft out the back, because I want to draft both the front and the back on this particular pattern paper. And then the differences between the front and the back is around the crotch area. So the next thing we want to do is just to take our crotch extension and add another 2.25 after the crotch extension. Okay, because the crotch extension for the back is slightly longer than that for the front. Okay, after marking the crotch extension for the back, I'll connect the front crotch extension to meet the back waistline. Remember, the front waistline is different from the back waistline. The back waistline will remain our starting point, while the front waistline will be the 0.75 I came down by earlier. Okay, so on this new crotch extension, I'm just going to use my curve ruler to curve that in also, because I told you guys that the differences between the back and the front is around the crotch area and also around the leg area. So this pattern paper was not really enough, just like 0.5 was not up to 0.5 was missing from that point. But when I'll be cutting it on the fabric, I will replace that. So like I said before, the back and the front is also different around the leg area. I'm going to go in from the inner line, which is the line we are working with, by 2 inches, and I will mark 2 inches with my red ruler, with my red marker, just for you guys to be able to differentiate between the both of them. Okay, we are not working with the outer blue line, we are working with the inner one, because that's the one we adjusted, because we want to make a straight line pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to connect those 2 inches mark points that I marked into a straight line. And like I said before, this pattern paper was not enough, so I'm just going to replace that when I will be cutting it on my fabric. So for clarity's sake, I'm just going to be labeling this the back crotch and also the front crotch. Okay, so there was a mistake I made, but we'll be able to correct it. I did not remove the waistband, because we are supposed to take out the waistband. So what I'm just going to do now is to come down from the starting line by 2 inches and then connect it in a straight line. So this will be our waistband. So automatically the back crotch now will be affected, because this back crotch line is supposed to meet the waistline. Okay, and what we have now there is that is meeting the band area. I would not want that, so I'm just going to like correct that line now, so that it will be meeting the our new waistline that we have there now, because we are going to take out the remaining as our band. So I'm just going to cancel the former lines so that we will not be confused, and I'll adjust the curve that we have there also. So that's basically it. That's just basically it. Okay, for the front slanted waistline, I'm going to come down by that same 0.75 inch. Okay, and then connect it into the waist measurement. So that is all for the drafting part. Let's go ahead and cut this out. So first we want to cut out this out. That's our back patterns first, both from the waistline, the crotch area, and then the leg area. We are going to cut out our back pattern first and cut it on our fabric first before cutting out the front pattern, because remember we drafted both the front and the back on this particular pattern paper. So just watch what I'm doing. So on this side now, I'm going to cut along the inner line all through down to meet the hem of the trouser, and then I'll cut across and also cut the 2 inches for the back part. Don't forget, you cut the back part first before cutting the front part. So do not forget, I said I was going to replace 0.75 when I'm cutting it on my fabric. So on this other side, we want to cut the inner area. Remember, we did not do anything back and front on this part. That's because you are not actually to do anything on it. It's just going to be the same for both the back and the front. The only difference is just around that crotch area and the inner leg. That's all. But this outer leg area or outer joining area is not necessary. They don't add anything. There's no difference. It's just the same way it is. Okay, this is the back pattern. I will cut this on my fabric and then cut before cutting out the front pattern. So I've gone ahead to do that. I've transferred it to my fabric. Remember, when cutting this, you cut it on a fold of 2, and then I'll come back to my pattern paper again and I'll cut out the front part. Okay, cutting out the front part now for the leg area is just to cut out the inner line, which is what I'm doing, and then cut along the crotch for the front. That's basically it, and also the waistline. That's just it. Then we'll cut on the fabric. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Please, if you end up enjoying this video, give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to join the family. In our next video, which is going to be very soon, I'm going to be uploading the sewing part of this trouser and also how to attach a side pocket to it. So stay tuned and subscribe, guys. Bye.